Alright, another reason to shill the HDMI tester. Consolefix.shop. This console's set to always on. Don't recommend it. So apparently this is no video output. However, we do have all of the lines. According to this, we have all of the lines. Oh, that is not good, is it? We have a flickering display and flickering lines on the screen as well. It's not the port by the look of it. And low resolution. This has been opened before, even though the sticker's there. So this customer's actually sent 2 plus a laptop. Right. Okie dokie. iFixit Kit, who never seem to want to sponsor me. So that would explain why this is actually showing that the data lines are all there, because technically it is. It's just not displaying properly. Let's have a look, see. Oh, that's nice and dusty. I'll save that for my lunch tomorrow. Yay. That is very, very dusty. Oh, very dusty. Needs a very good service, that does. Yummy. Yummy, yummy in my tummy. This is a theory that I've got. You know how you get like compounding heat, where the hotter it gets, the hotter it's gonna get, you know, as heat builds up and stuff like that. I think it's overheating the chip, because these chips are, well, they don't like heat, let's put it that way. The HDMI encoder. The HDMI encoder does not like heat at all. So my theory is that when these overheat and they start to compound heat and stuff inside the case, it kills the chips. I could be completely wrong, but it's one theory. But then again, if this is the original SN75DP159, there wasn't exactly great chips, which is why they released the TDP158 as the successor, and which is also why myself and many other technicians I know don't even bother replacing this with the original 159. We always put the 158 on because they do seem to be a little bit more resilient. They are the direct successor to the 159, which by the way you can buy on consolefix.shop. Just saying. You know what else you can buy on consolefix.shop? HDMI testers. Ah, by the way, I have actually just put the USB testers on the store as well. I only have 2 of each in stock at the minute. I put those on the store this morning. I will be ordering more. Now, where is my X-clamp tool? Where did I put it? Who's nicked it? There it is. Oh, that's a little bit stuck. Oh, lovely. And a little bit of liquid damage in the past as well. Yeah. A little bit of liquid damage in the past. Not so much that it's going to affect the console, but there's been liquid damage. Let me get a bag. I don't want to be brushing this on the floor. Yeah, don't want to be brushing this on the floor, so I'm going to brush it into the bag. Don't put the actual board into the bag. You know, static and all of that. So you see that there where that fluff is a bit stuck? Yeah, that is liquid damage. I'll say liquid damage, it's liquid. It's come into contact with liquid. Right, I'll clean the rest out later on. For now, put everything else to one side. and we'll work on the board. But I am going to get rid of that before I do anything else, because I don't want to be touching it, to be quite honest. So I'll use an Xbox OG Wi-Fi card. Because I can't be bothered to find my spudgers. Ah, lovely. Ugh. Looks like a fur ball. Looks like something half dead, to be honest. Ugh. Ugh. Cheers, Dylan. Thank you, dude. Ugh. Lovely. In the words of Cleveland Brown, that's nasty. Do you have to put it under the microscope? I do. I do. It's a legal requirement. And America think they've got it bad with cockroaches. Let's leave that to soak for a minute. Yeah, just left that to soak for a minute just to be able to clean it up properly. Don't want to be leaving that on the board. And it's still not cleaning up. Oh, that's disgusting, man. So the problem with this is, obviously this is some sort of a soft drink or something. And the problem with that is the sugar in it. Like, yes, it's not causing an issue this time, but it can eat through traces. So I want to get rid of that, just to make sure we don't have an issue in the future. I mean, obviously that's not the issue this time, but you know, it's quite lucky because there is a test point right there for CPU V-Core. That sticky residue isn't coming off, so what I'll do there is heat it up. Yeah, so what I'll do, rather than sit there constantly scrubbing, is just heat this up. That's definitely a soft drink. Okay, it is coming off. And this isn't necessary, but I'm just doing it just because I've seen it. I won't be charging the customer for this. I just don't want it left on the board, because I care about whether I get warranties back or not. Not only is it an inconvenience for me, it's an inconvenience for the customer. If the customer has to send it back to me, one, it costs me money because my policy is I cover all shipping costs. Number two, it costs me time. And number three, it costs the customer not having a console. So I like to just take care of any minor problems that might cause an issue in the future. There you go. That's clean enough to call it good. Let's just get that last bit off. Why not? There you go. Yeah, that's clean enough now. There's no more. There's a little bit of sticky residue, but it's been neutralised anyway. Right. So looking at the HDMI port, that looks. I don't think that's factory. It might be. Or is it? What are you? Get off my board. I don't know. I think it could be factory. Maybe not. I don't know. The solder doesn't seem consistent enough to me to be a factory port, but no, that's got to be factory. It's still got the white gunk on it from the factory. So this white gunk here, a lot of people mistake that for liquid damage, and it's not. It's literally the cleaning solution they use on the board when it's at the factory. So if you look at that there, like that goo there, in fact that HDMI port needs changing. But if you look at that white goo there, and then if you look down the bottom as well, you got it all over here. It's not liquid damage, it's just the stuff that they use at the factory. But that port is going to need to be replaced because it's split. So when I said it was loose earlier, That's why. If you look at this one, this is a HDMI input. That's how that one looks. That's how this one looks. So that's meant to be tight, it's meant to be closed, and that's what clamps it in. You've got some prongs just there, and they, if you look at the HDMI port, or if you look at the actual HDMI cable, you'll see that on the actual HDMI cable, you've got some eyes. And these prongs poke the eyes. So even though it's a display cable, the console doesn't want it to be able to see, so it pokes it in the eyes. And somehow that makes it see. Now, that just clamps it in. So when you put the HDMI cable in, like so, see how it lines up? And that's why you always end up with scratches on your HDMI cable. Look at that. See? And that's supposed to latch in and stop the cable from being able to be pulled out. But because this is loose and bent out of shape, it comes out easy. See? And it wiggles about. As if you used to press on them, I pulled on that pretty hard to get that to come out. Like, I'm really yanking on that hard to get it out. Like that one, for example, the HDMI input, you'll see it lock in. See? And then it's pretty tight to put it out, whereas this one's not. It's not quite latching all the way. So that port needs changing. So yeah, that needs changing, but that's not the primary cause of this issue. The primary cause of this issue is likely going to be this chip. The SN75DP159. It's very unlikely going to be the ESD chip, although it don't look great, does it? Doesn't look the best. Be careful on this, because this is a very fragile chip. It could be the ESD-IC, but I'm not going to be putting the ESD-IC off because that's a BGA chip, so I'm just going to change the HDMI encoder. ESD-IC is a last resort repair, or replacement rather. Never pull your ESD-IC off until you know for sure it's not the encoder. Like I said, I'm going to be replacing this with the TDP158, not the 159. In fact, I don't even think I've got any 159s in stock. I've got some on donor boards, but I would much rather replace it with the better chip. Hey! Yes, son of a... You son of a... Sit on your pads. Sit on your pads. No, I'm not going to replace the solder on there because it's completely pointless. Well, it looks lined up to me. Maybe a couple of millimeters out, but the pads are connected. A little bit of IPA on the toothbrush. There we go. Will someone please fix that smoke alarm? That smoke alarm's coming out, mate. We've had new ones installed because it keeps killing batteries. So please don't worry about that smoke alarm. We have working smoke alarms. I just need to take that one out. Right. Let's go back to Ugly Cam in a second. Let's just plug everything in. See what I mean about that cable being loose? You can't work with that. That port has got to be changed. Ugly Cam. Ooh. We're still in low resolution. However, we don't have any lines on the screen. Ah, now I know why it broke. It's got FIFA on it. That's why it broke. Told you people, stop installing FIFA. It breaks your consoles. 1080p is working fine. 4K is working fine. Yeah, buddy. So, I'm going to grab a replacement port. And I'm going to quickly swap this port over. Yeah, I won't charge the customer any extra for the port. It'll just be the standard £50 for the encoder. But generally, if I change the encoder and the port looks like that, even though it's working, I'll just change it anyway, just to make sure that it doesn't happen again. Right, I can leave the heatsink on now. Yeah, so as a general rule, I don't add anything on unless it gets sent in for the HDMI port. If I've got to change the encoder, I'm doing the HDMI port at the same time. 9 times out of 10 it needs it. But I wouldn't just contact the customer and say, by the way, I've changed the HDMI port even though it was technically working fine, but you owe me like an extra 50 quid for changing the HDMI port. It's all part of one service for me. It keeps the console running nice. I got my hot air at 480 and that's at 60% airflow. I'm just heating this up from underneath until the port desolders, which is around about now. Beautiful. There we go. Now I can just use the drop method to put the port back on. Right, I'm going to keep the airflow moving just while I get this into position. Press down on the board and done. Right, so that is slightly... You do get this sometimes where you'll get a pin which is slightly misaligned. Yeah, so it's not actually soldered. I'll just push that back in line. The rest of them actually probably are soldered. But I like to have nice uniform joints, so I'll resolder them all anyway, regardless of whether they're soldered or not. But yeah, that one pin, slightly misaligned. I mean, these are aftermarket ports. They're not absolutely mint all of the time. Don't worry about bridges for now. Just trying to tin the edges of the pads. Come on, Mr. Pads. There we go. Now we've got some uniform pads. Better than OEM. And you know those joints are better than OEM as well. There ain't no denying that. Scrutinize all you like, bitches. Oh yeah. Beautiful. The solder joints on the ground legs will be absolutely fine, by the way, because it pushes the solder through. So I don't need to touch those up. Absolutely nothing wrong with those solder joints. And now the connector's not split either. Job is a good one. Well, job will be a good one when we add the finishing touch. Finishing touch. Yeet. And no, I don't void people's warranty if I remove that sticker. It just makes me more vigilant. It just makes me more vigilant. If it does come back under warranty. Oh, that's lovely. That's beautiful now. And notice he's not shifting to one side now. Ooh, ugly cam. It does need an update. But I'm not doing that tonight. Yeah, there we go. That is beautiful. So Obviously, it's had a service. That wasn't the repair that it came in for, but yeah, those lines on the screen, HDMI encoder. But I've changed the HDMI port anyway because I just didn't trust it. And I have a feeling that it would have come back under warranty if I hadn't changed it. So, yeah. Nice and solid now. I'll take that. Oh, yeah. So if you're watching this back in the video, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the bell notifications, all of that jazz. £50 I'll be charging for this. That includes the HDMI port, the HDMI encoder, and the service. HDMI port I just did as a courtesy, and same as the service. Yeah, plus the return postage. But the customer sent three devices in total, so I'll work on the other ones, and then probably give a discount on top of that as well, just because I've sent more than one device. Yeah, happy days, job done. It's a win.